Hello, hello. I'm here, waiting, ready, paints. Oh, hello, Beth. You're the first one on the scene today. Hello, Louise. Hi, Heather. Hello, Adele Burden. Hello, Evelyn. How are you? So glad an iceberg didn't get you yesterday. Yes. Have you guessed what I did do yesterday yet? Oh, hi, Rachel. How are you? Nice to see you. Hello, Louise. Oh, Annie, Pims, how are you? Hello, Heather. Hello, and thank you for the lovely box of paints which arrived yesterday. Yes, I'll tell you what I was doing yesterday. Hi, Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to have to block you, I think. Hello, Judith. Hello, Gillian. I know you don't even watch me, you just listen. That's fine. Oh, Denise, look. Has anybody guessed what I did yesterday? Oh, hi, Fiona. Hello, hello, William. So, William, why did you get all dressed up in all your smart clothes and have nowhere to go? I know, it's Super Saturday with a live vid and perfect sound. Well, perfect sound for now. This is my husband's iPhone. The microphone hasn't arrived. We'll just have to see. Thank you, Denise. Hi, Marianne. Your hair. Correct. Now, Denise, no offence or anything. Now, Denise is my hairdresser and she does a great job. She cuts my hair and she does the roots and she colours it, because I know it's hard to believe, but I'm not actually a natural blonde. I'm a natural mouse. Hello, Eddie. Hello, William. All will be revealed. Hello, Marjorie. Anyway, Denise is my amazing, lovely hairdresser, but obviously hairdressers aren't allowed to go touching people at the moment. So she very, very, very sweetly dropped off my colour and some beautiful Sweet Williams. And she gave me some instructions on how to do my roots, which I didn't follow. But anyway, what do you think, folks? I think she's put herself out of a job. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Hilary. Hello, Irene. Okay, so I have got my glasses. Morning, sunshine. Morning. Oh. Another grey cashmere cardigan. I buy these on eBay, although I think this one came from Oxfam, because why pay 150 quid to buy a grey cashmere cardigan so that I'll just ruin it, wear out the elbows and dye it. So this is its first time on. It's so warm. Lovely roots, yes. Good roots. Your hair looks great. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, my painter's here. Well, all I would say to all those of you, because I spent yesterday packing up and sending things off because it's still quite busy online and there's only me here. Hello, Jane. Hi, Jules. Yoo-hoo! So the first batch of paint sets are now all away. Beth, you're in the first batch. I'll send you a message to say, you know, what the balance will be. Because Beth Munnings Winter, as I mentioned the other day, related to the great Munnings artist, is in America, although she is, as she told me, Canadian, not American. Hi, Nasa, how are you? Are you getting hungry yet? Anyway, we'll do a bit of painting. So yes, I've been sending stuff away, and those of you who've received your paints, be really, really careful, because there is a lot more pigment in those little pots than you're probably used to. So don't waste any of it. Any of the little stuff in the lid, just use it, just put your brush in. Why will you wear your elbows out? Mike Northwood. That's why I wear my elbows out. Hello, love the favourite cousin. Are these the new paints? This is what I have been sending out. Sets with my name on These are the paints I've mentioned before, developed by AJ Ludlow, who's like an amazing colour master. He worked for Winsor & Newton for something like 30 years. He's passionate about colour, and he wanted to make paints for professional watercolours that would be superior to anything on the market, and he has succeeded. It's nearly all pigment. These little 6 of these, I've got stacks and stacks of pigment in, hardly any binding material, and these 6 colours are the ones I use. I use 5/6 colours, those 5/6 colours, and look, it's got my name on the outside, and the first lot have all gone. But I've got a whole load more coming. I didn't know whether they would sell or not. And they're not something I make like a massive amount of money on, but it's quite nice to be able to offer something really special. Hello, Rachel, can we order online? You can't order online yet. They've sold before I could get them online. You can send me a message. If you'd like to go on the list for the next batch, send me a message, but don't do it while I'm on live video. Shipping to the US, yes. Did he mix your... Did he mix your hair dye? Mary Ann Ray, how very dare you. Right, now the other day I mentioned that I'd started this big painting. I think I was just working on the grass at the bottom. Well, I've done a bit more. I've got 4 chickens in. I'm going to add another cockerel, probably looking that way here somewhere, but I'm not going to do it this morning. But I thought, because it's probably quite interesting to see how like a really big painting, how it develops the way I do it, not the way other people do it, I assure you. Can we use them for face paints? You can, if you don't mind throwing good money away, Robin. Your hair looks lovely. Why, thank you. Well, the thing about colour is it gives it really good condition as well. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that. Right, so I'm going to tip you up, and I just hope, thank you, Mel, I hope the sound stays okay. Nothing I can do if it doesn't. Right. So I'm going to do a little bit more work on the foliage down here, and then I'll do a bit more work on the feathers on here, or I'll do it the other way around, depends. Oh lordy, my water. Back in a tick. Here we are, fresh water and paints. And then I've got a couple of other ideas that we can do this morning. Mary Ann Ray, getting anxious. The sound seems good. The sound's perfect so far. Ian, I'd love to have a chat with you. I'm not really sorted, but not right now. Anyhow, I'm going to need to stand for this. I think this is the colour I was using as well. I'll just add a bit. I was just steadily working through this painting, and then I looked up the hill and saw that the sky had just done something quite amazing. So I quickly raced off and chopped myself up. Actually, that's not a very good colour, but it doesn't really matter. It's just about being green. And I chopped myself a couple of pieces of paper and started a couple of landscapes. So I'm just doing these sort of imaginary leaves. It'll all get filled in. It won't all get filled in with sort of really detailed leaves, but and I will paint the spines of the leaf out when they're dry, and it'll be in a sort of contrasting colour, a bit of a sort of, maybe a bit of a poppy colour. I don't mean poppy as in the flower, I mean something that pops out and startles. Somebody sent me some of those videos last night. You know those, does it work even when I tip up? We'll sort it for you. Sorry, I was too busy. It's okay, I could really do with some help. Looks like I won't be over this year. Buggeration. That's my Australian cousin, the one I was telling you about, who was very, very, very entertaining. Yeah, you know those videos that people send you? You know how at the start of lockdown, I don't know about you, but I just spent the whole of the first 2 days laughing my head off. Endless hilarious videos. And then they got a little bit rude. And then they got a little bit boring. And then yesterday I got to, hi Darren, hello Stephanie. Yes, it works when it tips up to, oh, that's great, I'll just tip it back. So yesterday, last night, when I was preparing to go to bed, I noticed that my friend Peter Bilton, who lives in the village, had sent me a video. I thought, oh, that's nice. And it was somebody diving off a high cliff. And I thought, that's nice because he knows I'm interested in swimming. That's really nice. So I was watching it, sitting on the edge of the bed and watching this nice video of this chap getting ready to dive. And then he took the plunge and dived. And then suddenly, it was one of those ones where like a shark jumped up and ate him. And I nearly jumped out of my skin. And then, so I sent him a little message and I said, I did not like that because I nearly had a heart attack. So then he sent another one and it was even worse. So there's this bag and it's like a school bag, a rucksack. And I'm going to do some here. And there's something sort of slithering. It's a bit like a Hoover cable, you know, when you press the button on some of those like draggy along vacuum cleaners. It was a bit like that. It was a bit like the flex being sucked in, but it turned out it was like a snake being sucked in like that. Sucked in, and the tail disappeared into the bag. And then a hand came down, opened the bag, and there's like a snake's mouth went, bah! Like that. And I just... Again, if I hadn't had a heart attack before, I would have had one just then. Can you see? Yes, it works when it tips. Hello. And I really don't like snakes. I don't like long wiggly things. I don't much like eels. And last night, I was sitting with Fifey having a cup of tea, waiting for the moment when I can say, Fifey, will you come with me to the river? He doesn't like me going to the river to swim on my own. It's a great big pool. Darren, you know where I mean. Ingram Pool. It's a very deep pool. I think it's supposed to be about, 15 feet or something at the deepest bit. It doesn't have like a massive current or anything going through it. But, you know, things can go wrong and it's much safer to have somebody with you. So anyway, I said, Fifey, will you come with me? And he said, yes. And then at that moment, we heard a rumble of thunder. And I said, oh, God, because the thing about thunder and lightning is it agitates eels, and I don't like eels at all. And the only times that I've ever caught eels in a river has been during an electrical storm, because it seems to get them agitated. And when I say caught, I mean when I've been fishing. So I am methodically working my way through this painting, just sort of, let's move those bluebells so that you can still see what I'm doing. Are you still there? Quote unquote long wiggly things. Hello Kate, I had those videos too. Eels make delicious eating. Our ancestors ate them often along with baby pigeons, right? Well, I've got something to say about eating eels as well, because my husband, Fifey, who's, you know, he's a nice chap, but he likes eels. Or am I going to put, I think I might just put some smaller leaves, no, greener leaves. Yeah, he likes eels, and he's caught eels, and we've smoked them in a little tiny smoker we have, and eaten them, and I'm sorry, they're horrible, they're oily, they're full of bones. He thinks they're delicious, I think they're foul. We went on holiday to Ireland another time, and towards the end of the holiday, we thought it would be really nice to hire a Canadian canoe and some camping gear and do a trip down the River Barrow, I think it was the River Barrow, which was really good fun. It was before tourists went to Ireland. It was the very first summer after the agreement, the Good Friday Agreement. It was a really special time. And the Irish people were not really accustomed, certainly in Northern Ireland, to people choosing to go there for a holiday, which is what we had done. Anyway, this guy hired us a canoe, took us to the river. You know, we left our car at his place, and he took us to the River Barrow, and we spent like 3 or 4 days paddling down the river, and I think we had our fishing stuff. But we didn't catch anything. We didn't catch anything. But hi, Evan. So we're like paddling down the river in Ireland, and people were friendly, and there was a chap fishing on the side, and it's like you say hello, and they go hello, how are you? Hi. And so there's this old guy fishing, and I was awfully sorry, because we paddled past. Left me, God, honestly, Marianne, I can't wait to see you next time, because I know a much better story about Neil, but it's not suitable. Anyway, so the guy's there, and he had his line right out. I said, I'm so sorry. Oh, no problem at all. And he brought it in, and I said, have you had any luck? Have you had any luck? And he said, just this thing here. And he pointed to the ground, and there was an eel next to him. And Fifey went, oh, an eel, how interesting, how nice. He said, oh, God, he said, do you want it? And I'm like, no. And it was still alive. And I said, no, that's not coming in here. He said, don't worry. And she stamped on it, and then put it in a plastic bag. So we paddled over to the side and brought the eel, which wasn't really properly dead. That's the thing about eels. You can put them in the deep freeze, take them out again 6 months later, and they come back to life. They're the weirdest things. So anyway, we took it to the High Ian. Sound and cockles, I know! It's all happening today. So we got the eel, and we took it back to our hotel room, which was, because this was the last day of our trip in Ireland. We took it to the hotel room, and gave the boat getting on the ferry the next day, and Fifey did what looked like butchery, basically, in the sink in the bedroom, the hotel bedroom, and it was like there was blood and guts everywhere, because he said, I have to gut it, and just made such a mess, and then just put it all in a bag and in the bin. And I honestly shudder. I shudder to think what the poor chambermaid would have thought the next day. Anyway, so we go to the ferry and get home, not home, sorry, went to stay with a friend in Gloucestershire, drove through Wales, sort of holding our nose, because Fifey thinks that Wales and Welshness, he's better now, but he used to be very, very, very judgmental about everything to do with Wales. So we whizzed through Wales, got to our friend's house, and stayed there, and the friend said, what should we have to eat? And I was like, and Fifey said, we've got the eel. So we opened a suitcase, and we had to get this eel out and eat it, and it was as foul as eels usually are. Yeah, well, you wait, I'll tell you, Marianne Ray. So, right, I've added some more leaves here, quite good fun. I'll do a little bit here, and then we'll move on to something more fun. But I just thought it might be interesting, seeing as it is on my drawing board, this big painting, just to get an idea that, not to be daunted by doing something big. And it is a case of having a vision, and then, as I mentioned before, you have a vision, and then you spend time lying in the bath thinking about it or walking, and then you come up with a plan for how you're going to bring your vision to reality. And that is really what painting is about. You have an idea, or you're struck by something, and then you've just got to plan it out. And obviously I've done this sort of thing quite a lot, so I had a fair idea how to do it. But you do things a different way every time. The way I've painted these chickens here, these feathers here, is totally different to the way I've done it the last few times. Which is great, watercolour, you can just experiment every time. Yeah, eels. So I was a little bit worried about going swimming in case of the eels, but not that worried. And I had a fantastic swim. I was in for maybe about 20-25 minutes. It's such a big pool. You can just put your goggles on and your earplugs in and just up and down, up and down, up and down. I swim up to the waterfall. I enjoy the bubbles and everything in the waterfall, and then I let the fast water carry me like back down towards where my clothes are, and then I do the same thing again. But it took me a long time to get warm last night. It really did. As soon as I got home, I lit a fire, and Fifey started cooking a supper, and I fed the dogs, and I was still cold. Is the sound still working, folks? Your lovely locks are asserting themselves. Your head's in the way. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I don't think about my painting in the bath. I think more about what I cook for dinner. Well, I'm sorry about the hair thing. Maybe I'll bring... There, that's better. I don't know quite why, but this seat doesn't seem to be really at the right height today. So this is just the same sort of thing, just the same shaped brush, and just twisting it and thinking about all these feathers that are just overlaying each other and not getting too hung up on how long it's taking, because it doesn't really matter. That is the great thing about lockdown, and that's how come I've been doing more big paintings, because there's just no rush. God knows when these paintings will ever get into a frame, let alone exhibited and sold. Which they will eventually, I hope. So maybe I'll put that to one side. So I hope that sort of gives you a little idea about how a big painting like that might progress. I'll shift that. Don't go away. Right, this is still wet, so we can't do it today. But this is what the sky was like just up there. Yeah, you can see the sky was purpley black. And then you've got the, as you can see, there's a stone wall, trees, field, stone wall, field, stone wall. And that is the plan for this. So I'll put that to one side. It's still wet, so it's not possible to do it. Then this one is literally just like a lot of wetness on the paper, and then colours literally just introduced from the top, from the sides, keeping on going. And the idea for this piece of paper is to somehow try and do what I saw when I came back along the road and I looked up the hill that way, and there were fields, 2 or 3 flat fields with trees along the fence line, and then rough ground going away and away and away. And I'm trying to get, you're so careful with your brush strokes even when talking, don't know about that. Are those big washers on 300 GS? 356 GSM, Beth, that's what they are. They all are. That was something I did that hadn't really come together, so I thought I'll do that. Maybe, there's the cockerel that we started the day before. I know what I was going to do. Right. I was thinking in the night how I'm always doing something and then making it, and then doing the next layer while it's still wet. There are actually, you know, for instance, if this is an orange and it's got layers of depth and tone, that is now bone dry. I am going to tip you up. So that, where are we? Right, so that is bone dry, and there's a couple of cherries, they're bone dry now. So if I was going to try and make this orange really look more like an orange now, I would, oh, I can hear footsteps, that's Fifey. Fifey, I'm doing my live video.
I'm just doing a drive-by with lunch.
Lunch?
Yeah.
Let me see.
On camera.
Look. Did you make them?
Cheesy fowls.
Oh my word.
Cheesy soda fowls.
He made them. Thank you,
The
Fanny.
proof of the pudding will be the eating.
Do you know what? He's gone. That's amazing, Fifey. You're such a show-off. The thing is, I always say that you choose your second husband with a lot more care than the first one. That proves it. Oh God, yeah, Neil, you're absolutely right. I know, he's very good. Right, so there's your orange, and here's some more colour. All right, and that. So you can see I've added a bit of depth, made it look a bit more like an orange. Just do the same to the cherries here with a slightly smaller brush though, I think. Because I think people can sometimes be a bit daunted by having a lot of wet paint on the go. We don't bother, just let it dry and then come back to it. I do that a lot. Right, so if these are cherries, do you know what? I would sort of tip them up. And I'm literally just like adding okay. So that's one way of adding a layer to something, rather than doing what I realised I'd done, because I'm trying to do things like in a hurry so that you can get a really good idea. But the other way I might do it would be, you know, while it's still wet, and again, it's so easy if you have a big brush like this, while it's still wet like that, searching for colour. I'm literally going straight into the pan, like putting it on while it's still wet, and then hoping that it'll go where I want it to go. So this is a bit more careful. This is a bit more dodgy. All right, so here, oh no, there's that chicken. Cockerel that we started the day before yesterday. To be perfectly truthful, as you can see, there is not much room left on the paper for a tail, so I'm not quite sure. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But in the meantime, I'll start adding the other bits to it. I'll bear that in mind when choosing my second husband. Julie, you are so much clever than everyone else, and you got a good one first time round. It was really more advice for people who maybe are thinking about a second husband. I mean, obviously, I would not want anybody to go through the trauma and the heartbreak of divorce and the disappointment and the failure. But if you do that thing, as I did, then just be a lot more careful choosing the second one. And I think that having a nice second husband who's considerate and kind and interested in food is great. So it's quite nice because the rest of it is bone dry, and I can, I hope you can see there, and I can add to it and there won't be any paint running. It's really just quite good fun. Yeah, I like the way that's doing that. I think I'll just do something to the eye while I've got some. Which brush shall I use? This one. Right, that was me whispering, not the sound going. Is the sound still on? Is the cockatoo, just pretend it got away from a fox by the tail feathers. Well, I could do that. People like me. People like you. Yes, people like you, Jenny. Some people like you. I don't know why. We'll give it one of those white ear things. Don't let me ruin it by trying to put the bit in the eye. Okay, I'm going to have to do something here at some stage. Oh, I know what I'll do. And really, this is just playing with colour. I'm looking at this colour here and thinking what I would quite like to pick out the white bits with. And sometimes I'll just squint my eyes and look, and then I think maybe a sort of greeny yellow would be quite nice. Oh, and here I have some that I prepared earlier. It's so completely different. It's a... Hello, Amanda. How are you? I hope your fingers have been busy packing cards. Now, Amanda, who's just come in, is an integral part of the life at Leam Cottage, but unfortunately not able to come into work at the moment. She does my horses. She's just marvellous. She's lovely and quiet and gentle with them. They love her. So you see, I quite like that. That is actually quite a natural green with really quite unnatural sort of blue. I think I know what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to do a blue here. Now, I usually just use those 5 or 6 colours, and I can't remember what this is called. I got it by mistake, this colour, which is... it's an unnatural colour. And I think that would be quite amusing just to put that there. God, that stuff Fifey made looks so nice. I saw that he had this book out that said bread on the front when I came through before. The problem with homemade bread is you've just got to eat it. And I do not maintain this magnificent physique by eating a lot of bread, even though I want to. Oh yes, it's nearly lunchtime as well. Phthalo blue. I don't know if it's phthalo blue or not. It was quite a while ago. It was maybe cheap because it's a strange colour. Quite like the colours going on here, you know. And again, this sort of crimsony colour that starts with a Q, I'm just using it literally straight out of the dish. It's quite good fun, isn't it? The colours there are just... Might be quite nice just to pick out some of those little white bits that have been left behind. Anyway, going back to my hair, we are helping her maintain her magnificent physique. Yeah, going back to my hair. Yeah, well, Grace and Perry, you're going to have to do some work to match this. I love making bread. Hubby has to eat it all you can, freeze it, you know. Yeah. Yes, I'll be waiting for Grayson to do his roots as well. Because he copies me. You know the YouTube video I mentioned the other day, the YouTube channel, I've started uploading all of these live videos there. So you'd be doing me a massive favour if you subscribe, which doesn't cost you anything, and just do some liking and stuff, because the more people do that, then the more other people do. I think I've got about 14 or 15, sorry you can't see, my hair's in the way, my magnificent tresses. Yeah, I think I've got about 14 or 15 of them up. See how this paper is so weird? But actually, because that's a leg, it doesn't really matter. It's quite good. I've got an idea for what I might do for the tail feathers. And then I can squash it into the amount of paper that's left. I get my Payne's Grey, which is the darkest colour. That's okay. I think that's okay. I know it's a bit of a shortish tail, but maybe do the... So if that foot's there like that, I know, I'll have one here. Yeah. Really, really colourful. It's like a, you know, just an exercise in putting colour next to each other. Look at the time. I don't want to spoil you. I spelled it wrong. I think it's the colours you use that make your art look so... Oh, thank you. I love the curvy wurvy, thank you. That's so sweet. We are sheep. Meh, meh. Great legs. Ah, thank you very much, Heather. To see if there's anything. Anyone got any questions before I go? Obviously, the cheesy fowl is waiting. Oh, Charlotte, hello. How are you? I was talking to your mum last week. Sorry, I'm late. Far too late. Looking for hubby number 2. Tail feathers could go straight up. Ah, too late for that. Fox could be added. Sounds brilliant. So is the sound all right? Just as yes. Sheep. Rianne. Now don't forget, there's nothing that people like better than to get a card through the post saying, missing you, or I hope you're all right. As it happens, I sell stacks of cards. We've got like tons of them. all different designs, flowers and cockerels and hounds and landscapes. And we've got packs, themed packs as well. So you can get 6 cards in a pack for a tenner. And if you use your Lockdown Gang discount code, which is Lockdown, all capitals. Did I have it starting at the beginning of May? Anyway, if you use the Sounds Perfect, that's great. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, cards, we sell them. As well as, and a good thing, as Marianne knows, to send to somebody is just a little jigsaw. We've got some light Sussex ones, medium size and tiny. We've got some medium sized tulip ones, I think that's all. And then just loads of lovely things to buy people for their birthday and gifts and stuff. Can you write them and send me for me the same price? Ooh, Jenny, I've got something for you. It's just here. It's my middle finger. That'd be a no. The sound was perfect. I subscribed you. So yeah, go and have a look at the YouTube channel and subscribe. I would love it if you did. And if I'm feeling up to it, just quickly see what's happened to that. Does a weird thing, like it's like the tide's gone out right there. And it's just interesting. It's always interesting to see what happens with watercolour. It's like the moon, the blood red planet. What's that? One of them anyway. Right, well, I think I'm going to go and have my lunch. Have a lovely day, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye.